those watching. Today, I, Tanya Schubert, am going to discuss about the Romantic literary era. This period happened from the late 700s to the mid-1800s. It was the time when writers focused more on feelings, imagination, nature, and being yourself. So let's get into it. The Romantic era has four main ideas. First is individualism and emotion. Writers during this time believed that a person's feelings and emotions were extremely important. They wanted people to express themselves honestly. Next, we have imagination. Romantic literary writers used a lot of creativity, dreams, and even the supernatural to make their stories seem and sound deeper, insightful, and more meaningful. Then, we have nature. Nature was shown in Romantic literature as a powerful, beautiful thing, which was connected to human emotions as well. Mountains, forests, and even storms all had meaning in these literary stories. Next up, rebellion. Romantic literary writers often challenged the rules of society, which ended up to heavy rebellion and became a huge part of his literature. They believed that the people should think for themselves and follow their own path rather than to be forced to follow a picture-perfect life. The following I'm about to speak about are the top notable Romantic literary works and their authors at the time. First, we have Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, written in 1818. This story mixes science and sci-fi, heavy emotion and horror. It explores identity, responsibility, and what it means to create life by experiment. Next, we have Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, written in 1813. A story about love, society, and personal growth. Austen shows how understanding yourself and others leads to better and closer relationships and even friendships. Third, we have The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne, written in 1850. This book heavily focuses on personal guilt, judgment, and staying true to oneself. It uses symbols and nature to show a character's inner struggles and true emotions. These books greatly show how the Romantic literary era had many different styles, genres, and themes, such as Gothic, emotional, and societal themes. When reading about the Romantic literary era and reading different forms of Romantic literature, a smart reader should think about the following. First, what rules or emotions are being shown or challenged? Romantic literary writers were made to go against strict societal rules and believed that emotions, freedom, and imagination were much more important. They also questioned and challenged against society's rules, leading to the main theme of rebellion. Second, how are identity, society, and power shown? Identity was greatly shown in Romantic literature through characters learning who they truly are. Society was often shown as strict or unfair, and power appeared through the higher-ups and social pressure. Third, what writing techniques were often used? Romantic writers used a lot of imagery, metaphors, symbols, and even supernatural events to show much deeper meaning and emotions, which could be hard to catch up on if not reading carefully and attentively. The Romantic era still greatly matters today, mainly because of its ideas. Especially in this century, it has seemed to become more of a trend, especially online, due to the fact that people today continue to want to express themselves and be unique. Emotions and mental health are talked about much more openly in this time and day. Nature is also still valued as a place for peace and healing. Being creative and artistic is still extremely active in this society. The Romantic era reminds us that it's okay to feel deeply, imagine freely, and to continue to be who you truly are. Understanding the Romantic literary era helps students read more carefully and encourage them to read and understand better. It helps us see why writers use emotions, symbols, and imagination in their writing. It also helps us connect the stories to our own lives, experiences, and feelings. In conclusion, the Romantic literary era is still special even in this day because it greatly celebrates the freedom, creativity, and finding your true self. I hope you learned something today, and that is it. Bye!